Hello YouTubers, Jim from Ohio here, and today we're going to make a fun project. We're going to build a misting system for the grandkids to play in. Let's get started. Okay, for this project we're going to be using 1/2 inch Schedule 40 PVC, and this can be picked up at any Lowe's or Home Depot or Menards, any big box store. And you're going to need 6 10-foot lengths of this if you're going to build exactly what I have here. In addition to the 6 10-foot pieces of PVC, you're going to need 3 1/2 inch elbows. You're going to need 5 1/2 inch T's. You're going to need 4 3-way adapters. You're going to need a hose connector. And I will show links down below in the description of this video on where you can order these exact parts. In addition to that, you're going to need a set of misting heads, and we've got 3 different kinds here. I believe the blue ones will spray out at a 90-degree angle, the green ones will spray out at a 180-degree angle, and the red ones will spray mist 360 degrees. In addition to that, you're going to need a number 25 drill bit and a 1024 tap. We're going to use this to drill our holes and then to thread those holes to screw the misting heads into. You're going to need a PVC cutter, a tape measure, some type of a marker. I use a blue Sharpie because it's easy to see on the white PVC, and you're also going to need a drill. Okay, for this project, in addition to all of the fittings that we spoke about earlier, you're also going to need your PVC. Now, if you want your unit to be the same size as mine, what you're going to do is you're going to cut 4 pieces of PVC 6 foot 6 inches in length. You're going to cut 5 pieces of PVC 8 inches in length. You're going to cut 4 pieces that are 42.5 inches, and you're going to cut 4 pieces that are 36 inches. I will include these details down in the description below the video so you can refer to the printed version if you'd like. Now, when you're cutting your PVC, I've seen a lot of people that have used a hacksaw to cut PVC. I'm going to show you a different way of cutting PVC in case you're not aware of, that eliminates the mess and eliminates all the jaggy edges and is more accurate when you're cutting to a certain length. And that's where this tool right here comes in. This is a PVC cutting tool, and to use it, you simply put your PVC into the tool and you line it up with your cut mark. I'm going to use this one right here in the number 15, and I'm going to use that as my cut line. What I do is simply start squeezing the handles together, and that brings the blade into contact with the PVC. Once it makes contact, simply keep cutting and the blade will almost melt right through the PVC pipe. In no time at all, you've got a good, clean, straight cut. No jagged edges, no sharp edges, and that's really the fastest and quickest way to cut PVC. So let's go ahead and get started with the assembly of this unit. I'm going to assemble this in 2 major components. I'm going to build the bottom first, then I'm going to build the top, and I am going to glue those pieces together. With them glued together, it's less likely they'll blow out from water pressure, but I'm not going to glue the long sides in place. That'll allow this unit to break down for storage during the winter time, or if they just need to move it out of the way when they're mowing the lawn. I don't think that it'll blow out under water pressure on the sides, but it could possibly blow out on the top or bottom. But to eliminate that, we are going to use PVC glue to glue this unit together. So let me get started and I'll come back. Now, there's really not all that much technical know-how involved to glue PVC pipe together. You simply need the PVC glue and you need the pipe. And the main thing to keep in mind when you're gluing any corner together, it's always best to place all of the pieces onto a flat surface so that you know everything's going to line up. Then simply take some of your PVC glue, insert it into the opening, and you don't have to be that thorough. It's going to get into all the nooks and crannies. And then simply press the piece in place. It will dry almost instantly, so you do have to make sure you do that fairly quick. Now the other thing when you're gluing these side pieces in place, when you get to the T-connectors, you do need to make sure when you glue those that they are pointing in an upward direction. You do want 90 degrees from here to where the side piece is going to mount, and you need to make sure that each of your T pieces, the part that's facing upward, line up all the way down the side. So that connector down there must be perpendicular along with this connector right here. So I'm going to go ahead and glue. It's hard for me to do that with only one hand and show what I'm doing. So we'll cover this. Like I said, it's not rocket science. So let me glue these pieces and then I'll show you the layout. Okay, so I now have the bottom all glued together and in place, and let me talk a little bit about the layout. What I've done is the two end pieces are both 36 inches, and those are connected with an elbow on both ends to one of the 8-inch pieces. Then after that we come to the T connector on both sides, making sure that both of those posts are going to point straight up in the air. Then we have one of our 42.5-inch pieces on each side, followed by another another T on each side, followed by another 8-inch piece on each side, and both of those are also, actually only one is connected with an elbow on this side. On this side we've changed it and we've gone to a T connector, and the reason we did that is so we could attach one more 8-inch piece, and this is where our hose connector is going to be. So that's the bottom in place, all glued together. So now let's go ahead and start working on the top. Okay, so for the top we're going to use 4 of our 3-way connectors. We're also going to use 2 of our remaining 42.5-inch lengths and 2 of our 36-inch lengths. Now prior to connecting this, what I did was I took the time to use the drill bit and I drilled holes at about 6 inches all the way down the length of the pipe. I think I actually started at about 4 inches from the end, and then I went to 6 inches on the short lengths. And then after drilling those holes out, I used the tap. I just replaced the drill bit in my drill with the tap, and I went down into the drilled out hole, and then I reversed the drill and came back up. And what that did is it created a threaded hole. And these small connectors are simply threaded in. You just simply screw it into the newly threaded hole with your thumb, and they snug up really nicely. And I did kind of mix them up. Places that I thought needed a 180 degree spray head, that's what I put there. 360 degrees are the red ones, and then the blue ones are 90 degrees. And the nice thing about this is I have a nice assortment and a large quantity of these, so if any of them break over time, I can simply replace them. Or if I don't like the spray pattern, I want more water or less water in certain areas of this unit, I can simply unscrew one of the heads and replace it with one of the other ones. So let's go ahead and get these put together. Now, drilling and tapping your hole is just as easy as cutting it was. Once you have your mark laid out where you would like to drill the hole, simply with the drill bit, very slowly drill down into the PVC. I am a little bit off the mark there, but that's okay. I can line that up with the directional spray head. I'm going to go ahead and change out the drill bit for the tap now. Okay, with the tap bit in place now, I just go back to the hole, and with the drill motion moving forward, I slowly drill down into the hole that was previously created. Once I go down about a ½ inch or so, I reverse the drill bit and back out. I now have a tapped hole, meaning the hole has threads that I can screw one of the nozzles down into. There you go. That's all there is to it. Now here's a quick tip before gluing the top frame into place. What you're going to want to do is, since you already have the bottom in place, go ahead and stand your legs up and then assemble your top frame in place. And you want to make sure that the misting heads that you've mounted are going to spray into the middle of the frame rather than outside of the frame. So you're going to want to get this lined up before you glue it in place. So right now I can see that all of the sprinkler heads are pointed inside. Now, worst case, if you were to glue this, get too busy and glue it in place first, you can always twist these heads to point in a different direction, but the main thing is you need to have your holes lined up in a way that that will work out. So I think I've got the heads positioned where I would like them, so let me go ahead and take the top down, and I'm going to go ahead and glue that together now. Now, when gluing the top piece into place, what's best is if you have the three-way connector pointing down towards the ground. That creates a flat surface, and you'll know that if you do that on all four of your corners, you know that you'll have a perfectly square unit that is going to line up with the legs in the overall unit. Now we can go ahead and position the top in place, and then do some adjustments on the legs. Okay, so the top is now glued, and all of my spray nozzles are pointing in the direction that I want them to point, meaning that they're going to spray into the frame. So the last thing to do then is to determine where you want your holes to be in the side frames. What I did, I came down about a good 18 inches, since the kids are all going to be probably 5 feet tall or less, so there's no sense in having too much water or spraying going on at the top. So I came down about 18 inches, and then on the side pieces I went about every foot. Did the same thing that I did on the top, drilled and tapped, and then inserted my spray heads. Now once these are in place, it's just a matter of putting them into the bottom frame and then putting the top frame on top, and friction is all that holds those into place. The nice thing about the side frames is if your jets are not pointing in the right direction, you just simply give it a little twist and it'll adjust them and point the way you want them to go. And for these side frames, I just use the green spray heads. These spray in a 180-degree spray pattern, and so I've angled it so that they all spray towards the center of the frame rather than side to side. Now, I did only put 5 of those in each of the frames, and I've got plenty of water flow just with 5 in each of the posts. This is something you can change to your desire. If you want to have more heads or less heads, have fun with it. What I'll do is I'll play around with it the way that it is, and if I decide to add more water later on, or if the kids want more water, then it's just a matter of making a little change to it. So let's go ahead and hook the hose up to it and see what happens. And it looks like it works. So for an hour's worth of time, and I think I spent probably about $35 on all of the parts and pieces for this. I'll have to do the math later on and get the actual number, but this thing's going to be great for a nice hot day, and I'm sure the grandkids will be more than thrilled with it. Well, I'm Jim from Ohio. If you've enjoyed this video, please share it with your friends and tap that like button down below. And if you don't mind, please subscribe to our channel and come back later for more projects like this. Take care and have a great day.